Alright, there's not a lot of info on the Baumann transmission controller, so I thought I'd post this and help maybe some people out. What this is the operating program for programming stuff. So you're going to get a disk, and inside your disk you're going to put that onto your computer, and it's going to give you the install options. When you open up to install your program, you're going to get down here, it'll be, it says set up Windows Vista. So when you open that up, it's going to give you a bunch of options, and you're just going to go through and click the transmission that you have. In my case, I have a AODE that's in my '69 Mustang. I have it saved here onto my backdrop. This just tells you about the tuning system, kind of gives you some how to get started. You click OK. Okay, so if you have the program or the controller itself plugged into your computer, you'll see a little button here that says Find Controller. In this case, we're not doing that, so we're just going to hit OK. Once we get here, you're going to have a blank screen. If you go to the Open tab up here in the upper left, it's going to give you a list of names, and since mine is set up for the AODE, I'm going to scroll down here and click on the 4R70W, and I'm going to just click on the Cobra. And that's going to give you a rough template. In each one of these templates you have downshift speed, upshift speed for first to second, second to third, and third to fourth. And fourth is going to be our overdrive. One thing I do want to point out that's very important, because what I ran into is the transmission shop did a really good job at doing my stuff, but to be honest with you, my fault, I rushed them. So first thing you want to do, and this is part of your setup, but if you're just going to open up a program, go to View, Initial Setup Wizard, and this is where it's going to give you your options for your different transmission types. I'm running the AODE, next, wide ratio, and you're going to put in the stuff that's for your car. You're going to get to here where it says Output Shaft Speed Sensor Axle Ratio. This is where I ran into problem, because it's set stock for a 355. I am running 279 rear end. So if you don't have that, your whole thing's going to be off. So make sure you change that, your tire diameter, make it as close as you can. This is set for 25.70. That's about close enough. I'm getting new tires, so I'll have to change it. This right here is your idle TPS voltage, and then your wide open throttle. I left that stock. I haven't messed with it, but you're going to want to do that in your setup as well. Otherwise it's going to throw this thing off as well. Next, I'm not using any type of push buttons. I'm running a basic converter. And just next, Manutrotic push button shift I don't have. And skip that. And then there's going to be a point where you can make notes. And if you want to make notes, it'll tell you, so in your own stuff, you can put in there for what works and what doesn't. Okay, so it's pretty self-explanatory at this point. Your bottom here says your throttle positioning sensor is a 1, well, technically 0 through 9. So 0 is you're not touching it, 1 and up to 9 is wide open. In this case, we're just going to work with, let's start with first and second. So your average 1, 2, and 3 is going to be your cruising. So you're going to upshift to second gear at 25 miles per hour. That should put me at 2,500 RPMs. Second to third is going to put me at 46 miles per hour. And then upshift is from 3 to 4. Overdrive is kicking in at 72. Here's what was getting me personally. What I found out is that the upshift into overdrive is kicking in, like here it says 69 miles per hour. This was the program that I had originally in my setup, and it was kicking in around 60, 65. I mean, it's pretty close, but Problem is, if you look at the second red line, I'll get rid of the first and second gears. Oops. The problem is, if you go over here, if you're just putzing along, it's going to kick your overdrive in at 60 miles per hour. So let's say you want to change it. You're going to click here, and let's lift it to 75. The problem that I was having, like I said, was the overdrive was kicking in fine, but the problem was coming out of overdrive, the road leading to my house is 55 miles per hour. Well, let's say you're doing 70 miles per hour, your overdrive kicks in. You get stuck behind someone that's slow, you can't pass them, you're 55 miles per hour, now you're bogging down, like this. For whatever reason, my overdrive isn't going to kick out till 31 miles per hour. So, to fix that, you're just going to raise it up to where you want, and it's going to post the speeds. I have to leave it here at the top. 4.3 downshift speed, 61 miles per hour. So I'm going to up that to about 65. I'm going to up that on everything. And the reason why is, like I said, if you get stuck behind someone so your engine doesn't bog down, you want it to switch sooner rather than later. Because the issue that I had the other day, like I said, I'm doing 50 miles per hour and this thing was lugging my engine down so far it backfired, so I had to slow way down just to get out of overdrive and then speed back up. And then obviously here you can change it, so obviously if you're starting to get on it, let's say you're pushing almost wide open throttle, you're going to be doing 177 miles per hour, which I don't think we're going to be doing in these cars. But anyway, if you go back over to the right of the screen, you can turn off each shift point that you want. So you can go to, let's see, this is first and second. You can change all that stuff too. So it's pretty simple. Once you kind of figure it out, the best thing to do is, I like messing with this stuff here because obviously down in Texas it's 90 degrees right now. So when I plug that crap into my car and you drive it around, it's hot. So I don't have AC either, it's convertible. So once you get done, you'll come over here to the right and you'll hit the save button and you can save it to whatever you want. Then what you'll do is you go out to your car and you'll plug it into a USB, your controller into your computer here. And then there's a top button right, let's see, I hope you guys can see it, right up here where my mouse is. When your controller's plugged into it, it says right calibration controller. That button will become black. When that button's black, you just hit that button and it transfers over to your controller really easily. You can also go through here and print it if you need to. But the biggest thing that I found too was when you come up here to the view, initial setup wizard, is you gotta make sure your gears are right because what works good in a 355 rear end is not gonna work good for my case, which was a 279. If you go to the view, you can hit the system settings and you can go through there and change all that stuff one at a time so you don't have to go through all the programs. Now I will open mine and show you what I did. So I have it saved under my program. No. So here you can see that from just putzing around to throttle position 3, I have it set so my overdrive is going to kick in at 70 miles per hour. And then obviously if I'm hitting it, it's going to kick on at 75, and then 92, and 118. Downshift speed I put to 60, 60, 65, and then 77. But second and third I haven't really messed with. I just left those pretty much the way they were. I just tried to follow this curve, and I didn't really mess with it too much. That worked out fine for me. So that's pretty much how the program operation works. It's pretty simple stuff. It's just really a case of messing around with it. And then set your transmission controller somewhere in your car where you can sit and operate at the same time. Anyway, I will stop this and I'll go out to the car and show you where I put my stuff.